Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome to Umineko When They Cry. So, for about a year or so, probably more than that, ever since I finished Higurashi for sure, I have been asked, hey, are you thinking of maybe jumping into Umineko When They Cry? It's written by the same guy. It's potentially better. And I told a lot of people, no, I had no plans. And I'm still very iffy, actually, about jumping into it, but I'll kind of explain that here. Now, I've been asked by a lot of people for quite a bit if I was planning on jumping into this one. I had actually said before that, yeah, this is on the list of things I could potentially record, but it wasn't anything like I wanted to immediately jump into, because this is another one that has quite the time commitment. This one, probably more so than a lot of others, has quite the time commitment. And so I told a lot of people, no, I do not plan on really jumping into this anytime soon, or at all. And yet here we are. So I think I've egged people on enough. Here we are with Umineko When They Cry, when the Seagulls cry, apparently. And just like in Higurashi, I may cry. So a few things I want to touch up upon before we actually jump in here. This is like my third attempt of trying to cover everything before jumping into the game here. But I'll start with the obvious. This is the Umineko project variation of the game, and not the Steam version. I do own the Steam version. Thank you to Overcodex, a patron of mine, for buying me the game, as well as the Answer Arc edition. So he really just bought me 2 games here to record, which make up the entirety of Umineko When They Cry. So just like Higurashi, there's 8 chapters apparently, 4 for the question arc and 4 for the answer arc. So definitely in familiar territory there with the structure. Maybe, I don't know, that remains to be seen for me. But yeah, thank you to Overcodex. So while this isn't necessarily the Steam version of the game, this is, I guess, running off of the PS3 engine. It's been ripped, compiled together, modified. Some black magic was probably introduced by a group of hardcore fans of the series to bring to us a potentially better variation of the game. Because in my like 5 minutes of looking into the PC version, yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. Like it's kind of annoying to deal with. There's a lot of warnings, even after using the 07th mod, a lot of warnings saying, hey, this is dog shit, just straight up trash. And you probably shouldn't be using the Steam version of the game whatsoever. My little bit of trying it out really involved the volumes being a mess, hard to really control them and get a good balance. And it was something I didn't really want to deal with. Apparently there's a lot more, I don't know what the best way to say it here. Functionality, I guess you can say, in this one. A lot of improvements, a lot of nice things just to have for the overall experience. So I decided, after quite a bit of just thinking back and forth, like which one I should go for, and asking my Discord members and even you guys here on the channel through the community tab, I did a poll. I decided I'll do the Umineko project because it could be better than the 07th mod, functionality-wise probably, but this is what I decided to go with. And that being said, I do own the Steam copies, and I now technically own a copy of the PS3 game that has the engine and some assets and whatever else ripped from it. So hopefully I am good there. And again, thank you to Overcodex for buying me the games. Another thing here is that I have zero idea as to what this is about. Higurashi, I had an idea as to what it was about, and I was like 85% wrong. So they're a little different, but about the same. Kind of going into this one very blind. That being said, because this is a huge time commitment, I am not fully committing to a big-ass recording, or not recording, but let's play, playthrough, whatever you want to call it, of Umineko When They Cry just yet. I'm not fully committing. I'm going to record a few videos, see what you guys think, see what Michael SK thinks, and move from there. Then the next step is going to be, let's record through the first chapter. See what you guys think, see what Michael SK thinks, let's see if this is something that can work. If it is, well, I hope you guys are ready to hear me complain, read, get lost and confused for a few years, because this is going to take a while. I don't know how long this is. Actually, Higurashi, when I put all of my playthrough times together, that is a very, very long one. So I think this might surpass it. I don't know by how much, but that is something to really consider here. I think I've covered everything. I mean, there's not like a huge list of things I need to cover or anything like that, but I just want to make sure we have everything, you know, ready to go. Oh, by the way, hi guys, I'm Michael. If you're new here, happy to have you here. Again, I have recorded Higurashi before, and I really liked it. I really liked Higurashi, so much so that I actually did like a 30-minute, hey, let's talk about what the fuck we just went through type of video, which I've never done before, ever. In all of my Let's Plays here on YouTube, have never sat down and just wrote up a script and just straight up talked about everything I recorded for the past couple of years. I've never done that. Even with the Fruit of Grisaya. I've done something very similar, but the Fruit of Grisaya was my first big boy Let's Play, and this one might surpass it. This one might be the biggest of the Let's Plays. But without further ado, let us actually begin to jump in. This won't be like an overly long video or anything like that, but I want to have this be an okay length. I want to see what you guys have to say for the first video. Maybe you guys have some tips and tricks and such. I do know whenever I jumped into Higurashi, people were saying like, hey, make sure you read those tips and all that. And, you know, I'm glad I did, because way back in the day, I would refuse to read tips in games. More specifically, like Steins Gate. I completely just skipped over the tips. And the tips really do add a lot. I want to say that there's a similar system here. No idea if you guys have any, you know, tips and tricks to really, you know, share with me, by all means. But yes, let us jump into Umineko When They Cry. And by the way, thank you all for the patience, the support, and for the suggestion of this one. And you know, let's hit it. Apparently, these are not called chapters; they're called episodes. So this is gonna fuck me in the ass, just like 9 does. But this is episode 1, Legend of the Golden Witch. This font actually sucks, and I don't even know if I want to try to even read what all that says. But we are being welcomed to Rokkenjima, I believe that says. The Golden Witch extends you her heartfelt greeting, so thank you. Before anything else, please make yourself at home. There is nothing to think too deeply about. Just be silent and take in the events in their entirety as they unfold. This is all that is asked of you. The difficulty level is standard. Let us at least begin on the trodden road. I don't know what the fuck that means. But yeah, let's get right into it. Also, I have no idea what translation I'm using. I don't even think I got an option to choose. I may have, and I just skipped it. But oh yeah, by the way, this is just a story. This isn't real. Unless you guys want to make it real, then we can maybe collaborate. But okay, so this is actually as far as I got. I was like testing the sound levels and everything. I may have to lower the music even further. I did some weird sound mixing here, but I want to make sure that the music is not a focus. You know, it may sound good, but I need to, you know, not have that be something that can get me in some hot water of any sort. So, you know, just heads up there. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the translation. I heard that there's a fan translation and that there's an official translation. I have absolutely no idea which one I'm using right now. You guys will probably be able to tell me. Yeah, definitely leave comments on like, hey, you know, you should consider this or you should do this, and, you know, just keep it civil, you know, be kind to me. I am a peaceful soul that's just trying to do a Let's Play. But now that I've rambled for 10 minutes, let us truly jump in here with Nanjo, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Terumasa. By the way, you guys are more than welcome to laugh at how I pronounce things. I feel like that's going to be, you know, something that's going to come up here. The old physician let out a sigh as he removed the stethoscope. 2 elderly men could be seen in the dimly lit study, which was filled with dust and a sickly sweet stench. In the corner of this room, which was much larger than what most people would call a study, there was an expensive-looking bed, a man undergoing a medical examination, and the physician conducting it. Yeah, this is not really what I would call a doctor's office of any sort, but there was also what appeared to be a servant watching over the whole scene. Whoa. All right. Well, you look, fucking imposing. You should look for a different friend. The man who had bared his chest for the stethoscope spoke unapologetically as he straightened out his clothes.
あんたの体が一見調子がいいのは薬が効いてるからだ。だが、そんな強い酒を飲み続けては薬の意味もなくなってしまう。悪いことは言わん。酒は控えなさい。忠告の気持ちだけはありがたくいただいておく。我が友よ。源氏、もう一杯頼む。
Of course.
心持ち薄めでな。
Oh, yeah, even better. That'll help. Whoa. Alright, so that's Genji. I was like, who the fuck is Genji? Okay. Alright. Man, we're just getting introduced to some very fierce-looking characters. After eyeing both the master who demanded the alcohol and his doctor who forbade it, Genji, the old butler, silently gave a slight nod and carried out his master's orders faithfully. Okay. Nanjo, the man's personal doctor, let out a deep sigh once again as he watched the butler busy himself alongside the liquor cabinet. There was a smell filling up the room. Oh, I wonder what that is. It is this sweet, poisonous aroma, felt as though it melted the heart, if not the soul itself. It was the smell of that venomous green drink that the man could not bring himself to part from. Why the hell is it green?
Nanjo. お前は私の長きにわたる親友だ。今日まで私を長らえさせてくれたことを深く感謝する。
Yeah, especially since you're trying to kill yourself with a green alcoholic beverage.
私は何も医者としての忠告など、金蔵さんは全く聞いてくれませんからな。
And therefore it all balances out somehow.
お前とて差し間違えた手を待てと言っても聞かぬではないか。ならば愛子というものだろう。親方様。すまぬ。薬は切れても死にはせんが、こいつが切れては死んでしまうでな。
I think that is what we call an addiction, but I could be wrong. With one eye on Nanjo, who had his face set in a resigned expression, Kinzo took the glass that Genji was holding out to him. There are probably very few people who would associate the venomous color which filled this glass with an alcoholic beverage. Why did they use the same term that I used? I was just trying to sound funny, but okay. Yeah, why is it green? I mean, is there some lore to that?
私の命はあとどの程度持つ。さて。どのくらいと申し上げれば、そのお酒を控えてくれますやら。
Nanjo once again let out a sigh of resignation. Actually, I'm curious. I've never looked at this menu. So we do have tips. We have a grimoire. That's a lot of reading. Japanese has suffixes. Oh, this is just about honorifics. Yeah, I've learned enough. We're okay there. We have a characters screen, which I have nothing to really see here so far. What else do we have? We have the logs. We can save the game. We have the config. This is what I've already messed with a couple of times, but I didn't see anything here in regards to like a translation option or anything, so unless I'm just missing something that is very obvious or something I need to change outside of the game, I guess just let me know. So, yep, resignation, yeehaw. As he watched Kinzo down the glass regardless, he spoke. Okay, how much is not much time? Yeah, let's get some accuracy on this. That is not accuracy.
私のキングを追い詰めるには至りますまい。
Damn, they're actually just straight up showing us the fucking chessboard. Ninjo's gaze was directed at a side table with a stately chess set placed on top of it. God damn, there's like a little bug that's buzzing around right now. It's really distracting. Judging by the positioning of the pieces, the match was well into the endgame. The black rook and bishop were cutting deeply into the enemy lines. Guys, I have to admit, I don't know chess. I have no idea what any of these things mean. I don't even know what I'm looking at, honestly. Now, checkers, on the other hand. The white king had already been castled and cornered. Yeah, see, what the fuck? What does that mean? So that even an amateur could see that the match would reach its conclusion before too long. Every time Nanjo came to give a medical examination, both of them would make a few moves. Nanjo was stating with confidence that Kinzo would most likely fall into his eternal sleep before this game could be concluded. These were less the words of a physician than they were the words of an old friend. And the truth has to hurt sometimes, honestly.
遺言とはなんだ何十。私の屍をどのように食い散らかせと、ハゲタカどもに指南する書き置きなのか。いや、違う。遺言は意思を残すことだ。遺産分配のことだけを書くものじゃない。ほう。
Oh, that sounds interesting, huh?
遺産分配以外に書くこととは何なのか。心残りややり残し、受け継いでほしいことや伝えたいこと。
Yeah, you can make things really complicated here if you wanted to. And I suggested that makes things a whole lot funnier.
受け継いでほしいことや伝えたいことだとバカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
この後ろ宮金蔵、後に残したいことも伝えたいこともただの一つもないわ。
Okay, then don't write down your fucking will.
裸一貫で生まれた。
We'll forge it instead.
そして裸一貫で死ぬ。バカ息子どもに残したいものなど何一つないわ。もしも訪れる最後が今日だとしても、今だとしても。
Yeah, careful what you say.
何もない。あとは野となれ山となれ。
Okay. No, I mean, that sounds fun too.
墓も棺も何も望まぬわ。それが魔女と私の契約だ。
The witch.
私が死ぬ時に全てを失う。初めからその約束だからこそ何も残らぬのだ。何も残せぬのだ。
Gotta love it when the text is on top of that fucking logo there. Which I think there's a way you can remove it if you, like, replace the text box. I may look into that. After reaching a furious crescendo, Kinzo suddenly slumped over. Oh, he's dead. He's so dead. Oh, man. I called that one. His expression was limp and feeble, as though an evil spirit had possessed him and then left.
だが、未練はある。残すものは何一つないが、残したまま行けぬものが一つだけある。
Failing to, you know, drink this last drink or whatever.
それを書き記せばいい。もちろん、生きているうちにこなせればそれでいい。だが万一の時、残されたものがそれを引き継いでくれる。自分に万一があっても、必ずその心残りが解決できるように残していく。
Yeah, I'm sure everybody has something that they need, you know, to be completed even after death, and relying on others, people you know, people you don't know, I mean, that could always be a good thing. Maybe. I don't know.
それが遺言というものです。
When Nanjo tried to gently pat Kinzo's shoulder, the dying man flew into a sudden rage and batted away Nanjo's hand.
そのようなものを書く暇があったなら、私は見たい。
See what?
もう一度見たい。ベアトリーチェの微笑む顔がもう一度見たい。
Ooh, that's a name right there.
ベアトリーチェ、なぜに私をこれほどまでに拒むのか。今こそお前に与えられた全てを返そう。全てを失おう。
Okay.
だから最後にもう一度だけお前の微笑を見せてくれ。ベアトリーチェ、頼む、5章だ。 聞こえているはずだ。お前はそういう女だ。
Yeah, I need Beatrice to like come here and fucking get rid of this bug that keeps bothering me.
頼む。このまま一人で死にたくない。
Yep, there's a good regret right there
お
then.
前の微笑みを再び一目見るまでは絶対に死ねないのだ。ああ、ベアトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ。この命はくれてやる。お前にくれてやる。
Wait, if you offer your life, then you won't be able to see her.
ベアトリーチェ。
Damn, he has completely lost his cool though. It was pretty composed, a pretty imposing looking guy. Oh, I cannot show this. Well, that was nice. Even so, I was kind of just looking at my phone for like half of that. But truth be told, I've never even watched a single opening for Higurashi. The first day, October 4th, 1986. All right. But no, it was all right. It was a pretty cool opening. Song was pretty neat, I have to admit. It was a pretty nice song. Yeah, I would say whoa to that too. No, I mean, it was pretty good. People would probably say like, oh, but the spoilers, but the thing is, I don't know who everybody is, and I kind of forgot everything I just saw anyways, and so it doesn't really matter. I mean, a spoiler is a spoiler if it's something so significant and you have an idea of who the characters are and you have an idea of context. I don't have any of that, so I think we're okay. All right, let's read on here. I've heard the name Battler before, and this guy seems to have the same last name as the guy that just died.
時代ってやつは進歩してんな。たったの20分でついちまったんだから驚いちまうぜ。
Ah, yes, the invention of planes. I couldn't help but scratch my head and marvel at how far things have come in recent years. That's what I'm saying. We used to go by boat. Back then, we were all forced to endure nearly half a day of swaying back and forth over the sea before we reached Nijima. Things have gotten so much more convenient these days. Still, I've never been on a plane this small. I have flown in a huge jumbo jet before, but this will be my first experience in such a tiny one. It's gonna shake, isn't it? They say that smaller boats shake more, so I guess the same rule probably applies to planes. Ah, just spare me. Oh.
大丈夫だよ、バトラー君。
Alright, yeah, we got a lot of these guys. I guess I should try and pronounce the last name here, huh? Ushiromiya? Ushiromiya? That's what I'm gonna go with. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
船に比べたら全然揺れは少ないよ。うわ！ジョージの兄貴かよ。
Okay, so they are brothers.
急に勘弁してくれよ。今ので寿命が3年縮んじまったぜ。
I'm gonna have to look back on the recording. So a lot of this is just, experimenting, but I'm gonna have to look back on the recording and probably make a small adjustment to the voice volume because, truth be told, I actually went in and messed with the with my mixer. I've never really done that for any of the stuff that I've recorded, probably in like 8 years. It's something I don't like to mess with because then I forget about it. And if I'm trying to make, massive adjustments and I'm not getting the results I want, well, it's because I just lowered the volume of the entire program. It's something I don't like to do personally. But I did it anyways, so I may have to mess with the voice volume just a little bit. I'm going to have to see how it kind of sounds next to my voice, because I want my voice to also be pretty empowering, you know?
つうか、揺れってなんすか？別に俺は飛行機も揺れんのかな？まさか落ちたりしねえかな？なんて夢にも思っちゃいないぜ。
See, I've never flown, so I can't really say shit.
ごめんごめん。もう小さい頃とは違うよね。あれから6年も経ってるんだし、もうバトラ君も子供じゃないか。
What an awkward way to talk to your brother.
じゃあ、兄貴はタバコも酒も OK ってかよ。
They're brothers, right? Like, I got that right. Aniki is brother, right?
タバコは興味ねえけど、酒は飲んでみたいよな。兄貴なんか、おじさんの遺伝子あんなら、相当飲めちゃいそうだけど。
Maybe they're cousins?
僕の場合は、好きで飲むというよりは、仕事で飲む方が多いからね。
You know what? It is better to drink, like, more in a social gathering. Like, drink just to, fit in, kind of. That's probably a really toxic way of looking at it. But anyways.
日本のビジネスは酒抜きでは難しいよ。
Actually, you know what? Yeah, culture in like a lot of areas over there are kind of fucked up. Like Japan. Well, I'm not going to say Japan necessarily, but like I've heard that in a lot of cultures, let's just say that if you don't drink on like, you know, business get-togethers and shit, like you are being disrespectful.
そうっすよね。だから俺も今晩の夕食あたりに初挑戦してみようかなって。
ダメだよ。バトラ君はまだ未成年じゃないか。
He is?
未成年の飲酒は発育に悪影響を及ぼす可能性が。
It does?
こんだけタッパがありゃ、俺の発育は十分っすから。むしろちょいと身長縮めた方が服が探しやすいくらい。
I puffed my chest out proudly. Until I hit my growth spurt, my height was below average in my class. But then I grew and grew, and before I knew it, I was over 180 centimeters. Sorry guys, I use freedom units. I guess I have all that muscle training and those shady mail order performance enhancing drugs to thank for that. I wouldn't really thank those, but before then, I'd never dreamed that I would shoot 10 centimeters above George Anaki, who had reached his peak height early on. You know what? That happened to me too. When I was in middle school, I was one of the taller individuals. And then high school came around, and that's where it all went downhill. Damn, I'll bet my relatives all say, "Look how big you've grown, Battler-chan," or something. That kind of thing is really embarrassing, so I hope they cut me a break. Anyway, my name is Battler. Well, it's a pretty damn... Yeah, it is damn weird, actually. Yeah, now that I think about it, what the fuck? Who names their child Battler? And I don't know if, like, there's a specific way I gotta pronounce that, but that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I've gotta wonder what my parents were thinking when they gave me that name. And I'm kind of wondering the same thing. I've never met anyone who could read it right the first time. I usually get called Sentoku. Where the fuck does that come from? Too bad, swing and a miss. Okay, yeah, cool. Your name's written like that. Awesome. No. The first part of my name, or my family name, is Ushiromiya, and that is a fairly plausible Japanese pronunciation so far. The problem is my own name. So that is made up of the characters for fight and person, and it's pronounced Battler. Put it all together, and you got Ushiromiya Battler. God damn it, it's always shit. It's always shit that actually starts with the letter U. It throws me off. Like the name of this game. I actually had to look up how other people were pronouncing it because I didn't want to sound like an idiot, but that's going to happen anyways, isn't it? Pretty crazy, right? It's crazy enough that my parents decided to call me that, but it's even more crazy that some government worker let them make it official. Both groups are at the top of my must-kill list. Yeah, don't let anybody know about that, though. Okay, yeah, so this is a cousin. Got it. All right. Glad we got that one squared away. Yeah, it was the way that he, like, referred to his father. It made it sound like, okay, these guys have different parents. Anyways, this is one of my cousins. Okay, well, yeah, that's his name, and it's pronounced Ushiromiya George. He is 5 years older than me, so he's probably turning 23 this year. Since the Ushiromiya, cousins consist of 2 boys and 3 girls, I ended up playing with George all the time. And because I've always thought of him as a big brother, I still call him Aniki today. Okay, that makes sense.
しかし、
Whoa.
バトラ君は大きくなったな。男子3日を渡れば刮目して待つべしとは、よう言うたもんや。
Well, I guess he was right about the, man, look at how big you've grown.
やっぱり地かしらね。ルドルフも高校くらいまでは身長そんなになかったのよ。
Okay, well, we've heard that voice before.
成長期が遅い方が最終的には伸びるのかもね。
God damn it, man. Doesn't matter what game I get into from this fucking series, you know? It's like, I'm gonna hear that voice. It's not necessarily, like, bad voice. It's just like, after everything we've gone through in Higurashi, and I have to hear it again.
なことないっすよ。男は中身も伴わなくっちゃ。
Yeah, probably. And this portly and slightly chubby man is George Anaki's dad, Uncle Hideyoshi. He's the husband of Dad's older sister. In other words, we're not blood related. He's nice to children, sociable all the time, even quick to give out some spending money to his kids. Simply put, he's an awesome uncle. Oh, he's the rich uncle, got it. He speaks in an odd and very noticeable Kansai-style dialect seemingly of his own creation, but he's actually a natural-born Kanto man. Apparently, leaving an impression is everything in the business world. Of course, 100%. So speaking in a different style than other people is an act that makes him stick out more. However, I hear that he gets embarrassed when talking within earshot of a real Kansai person, so he switches back to standard Japanese. I don't really get it, but he's definitely an interesting person.
すぐ自分の自慢話に入っちゃうのがたまにキズなのよね。
I mean, it's the only way that we can explain what the hell is going on to the new readers like me.
うわあ、情報弾じゃないっすよ。そんな妙な武勇伝あるわけないじゃない。
You know, now that I'm hearing it, I think I've heard Battler's voice actor somewhere in Higurashi before.
むしろ紹介してほしいくらいっす。
Somewhere. Obviously, the audio quality is kind of shit, so it's hard to really tell. This isn't like the crispiest of vocal lines that we are hearing, and it was like that in Higurashi a lot of the time too.
あら、あるんでしょ、武勇伝。おばさんにも後で教えてね。
I'm kind of curious as to what the fuck she's wearing.
ジョージったら、そういう浮ついた話が全然ないんだから。
This is my aunt and George Aniki's mother, Auntie Ava. She's my dad's older sister. Do I want to say Ava or Eva? Because I've heard both. I knew somebody that was that had this name, EVA, and we called her Eva. But I want to say Ava, just because that sounds cool. She and Uncle Hideyoshi are a pair of jokers, and they've always teased me back as far as I can remember. This sometimes made them a bit hard to get along with when I was small. That said, I'm currently in the process of discovering that they still are hard to get along with. Even so, George Aniki's family is interesting and fun, and they seem to get along just fine. Sheesh, that's pretty much the total opposite of my family.
バトラ君、
Ooh,
ルドルフさんを見なかった？
who is this?
あ、さっきお手洗いに行くのを見ましたけど、まだ出てこないんすか？こりゃ、ぽっくりいっちまったかな。ナムナムナムナム。
What the fuck was that?
自分のお父さんにそんな言い方はないでしょ？
Actually, I'm very curious, and, let me be curious. Does that mean tips? Does that mean that stuff has been added to our tips? Yes. Okay. Now that I'm looking at it, we were looking at honorifics. Okay. But we have more shit here. So, words for family members. Okay, I know these as well. Chinese characters, or kanji. I've learned a little bit about kanji. I don't know kanji. I don't know anything, but yeah, I'm aware of, where kanji kind of comes from. I actually took a Chinese class. I know that's not kanji necessarily, but I have learned a little bit in my time of just, these fancy looking characters. Whatever this is derived from Namu Amida Butsu, a Buddhist prayer meaning I follow the Amida Buddha. It is also known as the Nembutsu, often heard in contracted forms like Nanmaida or whatever that was, which he had just said. It is recited to express mindfulness of the Buddha. After the passing of a relative, the sutra is often chanted to express thankfulness and knowledge that the dead have been allowed into Amida's pure land or paradise. Most Japanese funerals are conducted as Buddhist ceremonies, and Japanese culture in general is full of rituals and religious customs. But it is common to participate in these traditions regardless of one's own personal religious belief. The country is largely secular. Okay, cool. Now that was an interesting little, tidbit, I suppose.
まあ、あの人のお手洗いが長いのは今に始まったことじゃないしね。
ああ、あんにゃろは昔っからそうです。雑誌持ってトイレに入るのやめてほしいんすよね。
Ah, come on, leave the poor guy alone.
何の雑誌持ち込んで何をしてんだか。
あら、そんな心配は全然不要よ。私と一緒にいる以上、そんなこと一人でさせやしないもの。
Huh? What the fuck?
何の話か。後でじっくり聞きたいっすね。
Who is this? Yeah, who is this? Okay, this woman is my dad's wife. All right. Okay, I was gonna say, like, holy shit, we're getting into some language, but okay, all right. Her name is Ushiromiya Kairi. As you can probably tell from our conversation, she's not my real mother. No, I couldn't tell shit. I was so confused as to what the hell we were even getting into there. I got sus. She's basically my stepmother. My real mom died 6 years ago. Kairi's son is the woman dad married afterwards. I mean, I'm not a kid anymore. It's way too late now for me to start calling his second wife mom. And I doubt that she feels like using the word son on this massive kid who's no relation to her at all. No, I mean, that's fair, honestly. I mean, as long as like the relationships are good and whatever is most comfortable and reasonable for the family, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't see a problem with it. We aren't little kids. We know that there's nothing to be gained by fighting. So we decided that we wouldn't force ourselves to pretend that we were a family. I've decided to act a bit more frank with her, as though she's a friendly neighbor instead. It's much easier to just keep a little distance instead of forcing ourselves to act all close and making each other uncomfortable. Yeah, again, comfortability is the huge part in family. However you go about that, that is, your personal deal. Kairi's son has been very open about all of this, and thanks to that, we've been able to get along pretty well. Okay, cool. I'm pretty alright with that. As we were capitalizing on Dad being away in the bathroom to badmouth him, the man himself came back, wiping his hands with a handkerchief. Alright, let's meet our old man. That is not who I was necessarily expecting, but yeah, alright, Rudolph, huh?
バトラ
なんだよ、親父。
Whoa.
耳つねんな、耳。
I was gonna ask, what is he
母さん
pinching?
と俺の悪口を言ってたろう。なんでお前には父親に対する尊敬の念ってやつがわかねえんだ
Hey, you know what? It was funny for them.
逆に回して倍率どんどん
What the
さらに
fuck?
2倍
What the fuck are you even saying?
お父様失礼なこと言ってごめんなさい
冗談じゃねえぜ。そういうのは会員制のお店でやりやがれってんだ。だから話せって。
This old bastard is my dad. No, really? I think I'm pretty tall, but Dad's about the same height. That's probably no surprise that Auntie Ava started talking about Dad's blood when she saw my height. By the way, my height isn't the only thing I got from him. It seems having weird names runs in the family. Dad's full name is written like that. Can you read it? No. Not many could, I'll tell you that. That mess of characters is pronounced Rudolph. Ha, he must hate grandfather for giving him that name. Still, that's no reason to pass the weird naming tradition onto me. As the old bastard twisted my ear all over the place, Auntie Ava snuck up behind him and grabbed his ear.
こらこらルドルフ、息子に乱暴してるんじゃないわよ。
言ってよ姉貴
The scene before me was a perfect realization of the trope of the older sister who deals out punishment to her prankster younger brother despite his size.
エヴァ姉さん、そのくらいにしてあげてください。同じ分、後で反対の耳を私が引っ張って伸ばしておきますので。
What do you mean by that?
あら、ごめんなさいね。キリエさんの引っ張る分も残しておかなくっちゃ。ルドルフ、後でたっぷりキリエさんにお仕置きしてもらいなさいね。
Yeah, let's keep it to the ears.
兄さんの寛大さがなかったら今でもまだ売れ残ってますよ
Hey, yo?
弟として申し訳ないです
What the fuck?
誰が売れ残るって？
After taking 2 or 3 steps back, Auntie Ava unleashed one of her beautiful high reverse roundhouse kicks, which stopped just a centimeter away from the tip of Dad's nose. After starting out with Tai Chi Chuan for her figure, Auntie Ava had then developed an interest in the Chinese martial arts. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. After that, she went through karate, taekwondo, whatever that is. And what is it that she's learning now again? Well, anyway, they say a woman's weapons are in her lower body. They are? And that's literally true for Auntie Ava.
ルドルフ、側頭部直撃だと一発で混沌するわよ。
I'm sure it could kill a person too if you
こ
try
の
hard
間
enough.
演舞でミスって相方泡吹いちゃったんだからね。
いやいや足癖の悪い姉貴で本当に申し訳ないです
Dad, completely unfazed, shrugged and smiled ironically at Uncle Hideyoshi.
わしには兄弟がおらん。
Well, suit yourself lucky if this is what you could have had to look forward to in your life, but nope, I think you're good.
だからエヴァとルドルフ君のじゃれ合いを見とると胸がポカポカしてくるんや。
Yeah, I guess you can, take that as well.
ジョージ君はあんなにもまっすぐ育ってくれたもんさ。
Damn, these guys are freaking ruthless to each
本
other.
当にジョージ君は偉いな。
That's when you know the family's tight.
あらあら、そんな。うちのジョージもまだまだ頼りなくって。
He's 23.
そうそう。それよりお宅のエンジェちゃんはどんな具合なの？吐いちゃったって聞いたけど。
そうやそうや。久しぶりに顔が見れると思って期待してたんやで。
Yeah, who are they talking about here?
大丈夫なんか？
いつも季節の変わり目に風邪をひくんです。どうも弱くって。
Oh, do they have a kid
本
that
当は
they
連
made
れてき
together?
たかったんですけど。
So wait, what are we all doing here? Like, I know that we're having like a little, family get together here in this airport, or I'm assuming this is an airport. I mean, it looks like an airport. Yeah, what are we doing here? And once the conversation suddenly veered off in that direction, we kids didn't have any chance of butting in. For now, I'm just happy that Auntie Ava gave Dad his just desserts for tugging on my ear.
まだ天候調査中がなくならないね。
Okay, so they're about to get ready to fly. I guess that explains the, man, I hope there's no shaking. George Aniki pointed at the counter. The pending weather clearance sign was still stuck next to the scheduled departure time for the flight that we were scheduled to board. According to Aniki, smaller planes are more subject to winds and other effects of the weather, and it's not all that uncommon for flights to be delayed because of that. Wait a sec. It isn't really going to shake, is it? No, it will a little bit. I mean, there's turbulence. From down here on the ground, it just looks cloudy, not windy. Well, I guess it's different up where the planes fly. Oh,
ちょっと天
100%.
気が怪しいものね。
Auntie Ava was looking at a TV in the lounge. The weather forecast was being broadcast, informing us that a typhoon was approaching the Kanto region.
チェ、いい年した女がはしたないことばっかしてんじゃねえぜ。
Be very careful what you say, brother. Dad and Auntie Ava's argument looks no different from a couple of brats bickering.
普段は父親や母親として振る舞っていても、こうして親族会議で元の兄弟に出会うと、子供の頃の自分に戻っちゃうからだろうね。
と、冷静に分析できるジョージ兄貴の方がずっと大人に見えるぜ。
Oh, we were raised right, you know?
俺は将来、あんなクソ親父みたいにはなりたくないに。なるなら、兄貴みたいな知的な大人になりたいもんだぜ。
僕かい？僕なんかまだまださ。
Oh, I wonder what secrets you hold, George.
社会経験が全然足りないし、社交性も度胸も足りない。バトラ君には、それらのいくつかがすでにあるように思うよ。だからきっと、成人したら僕なんかすぐに追い抜いちゃうさ。
George Aniki scratched his head and laughed, as though trying to hide his embarrassment. Of course, he was just being humble. Aniki entered a university and became an apprentice at Uncle Hideyoshi's company at the same time. All right, no, that's a feat. Honestly, working or internship while attending a school is always impressive to me. Just straight up. I could not personally balance that. I was doing like some part-time work while I was doing school, but school was like on good old Zoom University because of COVID. But there's no way I could have balanced both. Definitely no way if they were like in person. Studying both academics and how to become a business emperor in parallel. Then, right after graduating, he got into Uncle Hideyoshi's company as his father's aide, piling up a lot of real-life experience as he devoted himself zealously to his work. He even has grand dreams of one day standing on his own and becoming lord of his own domain. Aniki is a real paragon of a man, sparing no effort as he strives towards his goal. It's no exaggeration to say that I really respect him. No, that's fair. 100%. Honestly, George seems like a pretty stand-up guy, but again, what secrets does he hold? And then there's me. I'm nothing at all like Aniki. I'm living my happy-go-lucky idle high school life to the max. I've got no dreams for the future. Me neither. I would just like to sit back, stay cool, and let the money flow in. But of course, that could never happen. When Aniki was my age, he had already formed an impressive objective and had started devoting himself towards studying for that goal. So I guess I can't compare at all. That little bug is still bothering the shit out of me. It is so distracting. Because what I do is I read ahead and then talk, but like, you know, if my eyes wander to the fucking little shit that's like buzzing near my microphone, it's a little difficult. My dad just says, sure, you can study at my company if you like cleaning toilets. Damn it, I'm not going to be in the debt of that old bastard. I'll find my way myself. No, that's fair too, 100%. Like, if you don't want to go in the direction of your family, if you want to, you know, create your own path, that's totally understandable too. I guess that intensity is my one qualification towards adulthood. Should I go on one of those self-searching journeys that are all the rage these days? Well, it's not like I could mooch off my parents for that kind of money. Uh-oh. Right then, Uncle Hideyoshi shouted out loudly. Uncle's a really nice person on the whole, but he does have a problem controlling the volume of his voice. When I looked over, I saw that he was greeting Auntie Rosa, who had come late.
Rosa さんやないか
Yeah, he is fucking happy.
マリアちゃん久しぶりやの
久しぶり。マリア、お久しぶりです。
Okay. Yeah, we're really getting a colorful cast of characters, excuse me. And I am gonna have to somehow remember each and every fucking one of them.
言ってごらん。ほう、お久しぶりです。
そうやよく言えたなご褒美に飴玉あげようなどこにしまったんや
Aw, man, no candy for being polite?
ロー
Shit.
ザさん、お久しぶりです。マリアちゃんもお久しぶり。
ご無沙汰してます、キリエ姉さん、秀吉兄さん。と、あら、バトラ君
How tall you've grown.
大きくな
Yep,
った
there
わ
it
ね。
is. There it fucking is.
いやー今日は会うたびに言われてて恥ずかしいっすよ。
I mean, he did call it out.
おうローザ遅かったな。飛行機がダイヤ通りだったらギリ。
ごめんなさい。列車の接続がうまくいかなくて。なに？また天候調査中なの？
I guess this is a regular occurrence.
ぼやかないぼやかない。船で6時間も揺られるくらいなら、飛行機でほんの30分の方がずっとマシよ。たとえ1時間余計に待たされたって、全然早いんだから。
I mean, but also on the boat, you're actually making progress.
マリアちゃんも大きくなったで今身長いくつあるんや
身長いくつあるんや
Maria parroted Uncle Hideyoshi's question, looking up at her mother. I guess she doesn't remember her own height. She's probably right in the middle of a growth spurt, so her height must change every month. In just a few more years, she'll probably start looking very feminine.
と
Aw, man, she doesn't even
こ
know
の
either.
間の身体測定でいくつって出たっけ？これでも少しずつは伸びてるんですよ。
Yeah, children tend to do that.
よいしょ。
Struggling
も
there,
う高い
George?
高いをするにはちょっと重くなってきたかな。
うわジョージ兄貴
Yeah, I was gonna
それ
say,
はレ
like,
ディーに失礼だろ
maybe don't say that out loud in front of, like, the entire family
俺
here.
俺がやってやるぜ高い高い
When I went to lift her in Aniki's place, Maria stiffened defensively, staring suspiciously at my face. And she probably doesn't know him. Ah, that's right. The last time I met Maria, it was 6 years ago, and she was only 3 years old. Of course she doesn't remember my face. Yeah, they're both
Maria-chan,
growing at the same
覚えて
time.
る？
A lot of developments.
バトラ君よ。一緒に遊んでもらったの忘れちゃった？
無理だろ。最後にバトラと会ったのは3つの時だぜ。3つの時の記憶なんか残ってねえよ。
She must know everyone's face apart from mine because she meets them every year. But I haven't had contact with the God damn it, here we go again. Ushiromiya family for about 6 years now. The thing is, with shit that starts with the letter U, I have to stop, concentrate, let the gears turn in my brain, then I can pronounce it. But like if I just try to, go with the flow, I am going to just stumble over myself. Just Michael SK problems, honestly. Just ignore it. So it's no surprise that this 9-year-old girl doesn't have any memories of me. Even I can only just barely remember her being a 3-year-old crybaby.
マリア、バトラお兄ちゃんよ。 ルドルフおじさんの息子さん。わかる？
おじさんの息子さんが、おじさんが息子さん。
Don't worry, Maria. I have actually been, already struggling to follow who everybody is. And the more people we get introduced to us, it's also going to happen even worse. That ooh was probably the sound of her brain breaking, unable to understand the complicated explanation. I guess it was a bit too confusing for her.
マリアちゃん、彼はバトラ君。僕と同じいとこだよ。
庄司お兄ちゃんと同じ
Yeah, let's just dumb it down
バ
here.
トラいとこ。
そう。よくできたね。
This part of Aniki is what makes him really, or what makes me really look up to him, excuse me. For someone who isn't married, he's just great at dealing with kids. I'm sure that he'll be an indulgent father in the future. It does come off with that vibe, huh? Maria looked straight at me with a questioning expression, as though asking whether it was all right to call me that.
おうや、俺がバトラだ。よろしくな、マリア。
こらマリア、呼びつけちゃダメでしょ。バトラお兄ちゃんと呼びなさい。
I mean, me personally, I could go either way.
いいっすよ、ローザおばさん。細かいことは気にしないっすから。なあ、マリア。俺とお前は名前を呼びつけ合う仲だもんな。
I'm sure the reason why, she's trying to tell her, hey, make sure you use an honorific is because, yeah, you want her to grow up and, learn politeness.
おうや、マリア、マリア、マリア。
All right. Yeah, they can go do their own thing. We horsed around for a while to make up for the 6-year gap in our friendship. She probably still thinks of me as nothing more than a big new friend, but things will probably work out as we get to know each other again. But I'm surprised. She's just the way I remembered her being 6 years ago. Seems that people just don't change that much after all. I'm a bit happy that she's still the pure innocent girl that I remember. Her name is written like that. I hope you guys are remembering that shit, because I'm not. That one's not so difficult to read. It is for me. Of course, it says Maria. The third character looks like a cross, which is pretty cool. Why are we even throwing that out there? Her feelings don't usually show up on her face, so it can be difficult to know just what she's thinking. But that's just how she looks on the outside. On the inside, she's just a sweet, normal girl. Then there's Maria's mother, Auntie Rosa. She's my dad's younger sister. Rosa is written like that. Here's a name that's totally not Japanese. Sorry to say it, but her name's almost as ridiculous as Dad's. I've got to respect her for not ending up as screwed up as he is. When I think about it, all the names in my family sound foreign. Yeah, a little bit. Just why is grandfather so obsessed with this? Because of him, even us grandchildren have to put up with this weird naming sense. It's even more annoying since grandfather's own name is perfectly normal. Anyway, there's one thing about Auntie Rosa that's a relief compared to the other family members. The old bastard and Auntie Ava have this annoying urge to tease and mock people all the time. But even though she shares their blood, Auntie Rosa isn't like that at all. She has the most common sense among all the siblings. Like Uncle Hideyoshi, she's a kind aunt who will always be on the kid's side. However, possibly because she's more strict as a parent, she's not liberal with handing out spending money like Uncle Hideyoshi is. That's okay. In my opinion. Alright, now we have the entire group of family members who are going to board the plane. As though it had waited for us to all gather, an announcement rang out through the lobby.
お待たせしました。新島行き201便の搭乗をこれより開始いたします。ご搭乗のお客様はカウンター前の白線前に2列でお並びください。
Alright, we're finally making progress after meeting a whole bunch of characters.
搭乗手続きまだだろ。急げ急げ。
いけない。マリア、いらっしゃい。
We had to go through a metal detector before going out onto the runway. Our small plane wasn't as massive as an international flight, but it was still a plane. A staff member holding a metal detector checked us all, excuse me. And there she is. Truly a big bird, but there are larger. Once all of us cleared the check, we followed the staff member out onto the runway. Come to think of it, everyone here is in the Ushiromiya family. It's like this is a reserve charter flight or something. Suspicious, sorta. Our group stopped in front of the entrance to the airplane. Then our guide turned around and spoke, looking down at the passenger list as she did.
それでは
さっきから探してるんだが見つからないんや。
Oh, hurry up and just board the plane already.
後ろ宮エヴァ様。
ハンドバッグの中よ。機内に入ったら出すわ。
I've heard that candies are a good way to protect your ears from hurting due to variations in atmospheric pressure when landing or taking off. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Is that fake? Is that real? That's probably what they're talking about.
俺の席窓際。
大丈夫だよ。窓際席しかないもん。
Oh yeah, because there's just one seat on each side, right? According to George Aniki, there are apparently only 2 lines of seats. Yep, it's a small plane, all right. It isn't really going to shake, is it? It's gonna shake, buddy.
後ろ宮ジョージ様。
はい。大丈夫だよ、バトラ君。あんまり揺れないから。
後ろ宮バトラ様。
Oh, here we go.
兄貴、あんまりってどのくらいだよ。船から落ちても泳げるからいいが、飛行機が落ちたらそれでおしまいなんだぜ。
Ah, we'll be alright.
もちろん客席にはパラシュートがあるんだろ。ねえの？
後ろ宮ルドルフ様。
ほらバトラ、感動してねえで。
Yeah, come on.
とっとと奥行け。
We either go to our destination or we just go down as a family. In the end, it'll all be okay.
後ろ宮ローザ様。こらマリア、静かにしなさい。
At least we have some pretty good structure to this list. I mean, everybody's pretty much sitting next to, like, you know, a close family member or, like, somebody that they like.
本日は新東京航空201便をご利用いただき誠にありがとうございます。新島空港までは約20分のフライトの予定です。
Oh, that's not bad.
上空の気流が乱れているとの報告が入っています。
Oh, well, there goes Battler.
くそー、騙された。何が揺れないだ。
My brother in Christ will be okay. Just shut up.
どこだよ。やっぱり俺は船が良かった。
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Yeah, turbulence is like a normal thing. It'll be all right. I think that was our little prologue here for the first chapter. I'm going to call them chapters because I call my videos episodes. I am not going to let myself get confused like I do in 9. Why are we seeing his name here? Is that who we're following? That's my guess. No, okay, we're just being introduced to the characters at play here, I suppose. George, Jessica, who the fuck is Jessica? We have not met a Jessica so far. We have not met a Kinzo, a Kraus, or a Natsuhi. But we've met these others. We've met Rudolph and Rosa and Kyrie. Okay. I guess there's a whole lot of other characters to meet. Oh, hey, look. People from, like, another family. We have Nanju, Terumasa, Shannon, Goda, Toshiro. Those others that I didn't get to read. We're getting some nice sights here. All right. Cool, cool. Now, this is going to be the end of the first episode here, by the way. I think we've reached a pretty good stopping point. We got to meet our very colorful cast of characters. And I'm good for this recording session, truly. I don't really know what to think yet. It is way too early. Don't worry, I'm giving this the proper 3-episode rule. And no, that does not mean we are recording up to 3 episodes in the story. Do not trick me with that shit. Alright, yeah, we'll save it here. Yes, our first save. Nice. Alright. Cool, cool. Alright. Oh yeah, you guys get to see what real time I'm recording this and what real date and everything and how many times I've clicked. Very interesting stats to have. But all right. Episode 1, Chapter 1. Never mind. I guess I have to refer to the episodes as episodes and we get chapters within the episodes. Cool. Fantastic. But you know what? I will admit what's really cool here is that it's showing us where we are and what the day and time is. That's really cool. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there's a lot of visual novels I've recorded. I don't really care where we are most of the time, but knowing what the day is and what kind of like time were around, like, just let me know if it's morning, afternoon, or whatever. But those are nice, you know, little bits of information to have, I have to say. But there we go. That is going to be my first video for Umineko When They Cry. Hopefully the Seagulls are happy. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, guys. Again, so sorry for pushing this playthrough off as much as I did, but I just didn't know if I was ready, and I still don't know if I'm ready, but it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now, especially recently, now that I'm taking a well-deserved break from the Science Adventures series, which I tackled heavily this year. I think it's time to get into something that will most definitely take another huge amount of time to complete. But definitely let me know your thoughts. Definitely let me know if there's anything that I should know before we continue any further. And I have to admit, there is some excitement to continue on. I do have to admit, I'm not like, oh man, thank God we're done with this first recording session. No, like, this was fun. I'm curious to see how things go, what sort of story gets built up. Okay, yeah, so this is our family tree. Okay, I think this is a family tree. Yeah, we've got a fair amount of characters left to really learn about, and I think that's what's going to be a whole lot of fun. Is that this is going to be pretty character oriented, and shit is going to go down. I'm fairly certain shit is going to go down. In what way? I don't know. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And, well, I don't want to say, like, yeah, let me know in the comments if you want me to continue this, because if I do, then, well, no shit, we're going to continue this. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what I should know before we continue on. And, yeah, I hope you guys are excited, and let's see if I stick with this. Take it easy, guys.